Are empaths real? Here's what science says. Without having much knowledge, an empath may connect intimately with you because they experience what you experience. Because there is little information about this sort of individual, many people doubt that empaths exist. Is it true that everybody seems to come to you with their issues? Do you have the ability to predict when others may become upset? If so, you could be an empath, according to common belief. But it might be challenging to distinguish between someone who has empathy and a true empath. In other words, the former may be able to empathize with another person's predicament, whilst the latter may experience the agony as their own. Research on the idea of empaths has been at best tentative up until this point. It doesn't imply that empaths don't exist or that an empath's experiences aren't legitimate. It simply indicates that there is little to no scientific evidence to support the idea, and specialists might not completely comprehend this phenomenon experimentally at this time. How can you tell whether you are truly an empath? According to Talia Bombola, a certified psychotherapist in Newport Beach, California, an empath is incredibly sensitive to the energies and emotions of people, animals, and natural elements. They frequently derive enormous pleasure from being able to relate to individuals and comprehend them in a unique manner that nobody else can, she claims. The definition of what constitutes an empath is hotly contested, and the various schools of thought frequently overlap. A person who excels in empathy or someone with unusual abilities and senses is said to be an empath. In general, studies have discovered two key characteristics of an empath. Empathy is a talent you may learn to help you understand how other people are feeling. An uncertain environment or an adaptation brought on by childhood trauma might be the cause. To keep secure, some people could be hyper-attuned to others around them. Sensitivity is an intrinsic personality attribute linked to the capacity for sensory processing. Increased sensitivity can alter how you perceive the environment. Cons and benefits of having empathy. If you believe yourself to be extremely sensitive or an empath, you might feel that having such a strong connection to the outside world has both advantages and disadvantages. Here are a few things you could identify with. Advantages of long-lasting partnerships, enhanced life experiences, amazing ESP, and lie detecting. People say you have empathy for other people and living things as well as strong listening skills. Negatives are having trouble drawing emotional boundaries, frequently feeling fatigued or depleted, especially after conversations, and tending to isolate oneself. It's possible that individuals will frequently traumatize you. Empaths frequently feel overwhelmed. According to Friedman's personal experience, a large portion of what she initially identified as being an empath was actually an anxious attachment style, a trauma response, and codependency symptoms. She has changed how she interacts with others thanks to some therapeutic therapy. I'm still empathetic, but I don't feel out of control or like I have no choice in my own experience, she says. When I'm around someone who is struggling, I can remain in my own experience rather than absorbing their emotions and issues as my own. You may manage the negative effects of being an empath by seeking therapy. A dark empath is what? According to research, a dark empath is a personality type that combines cognitive empathy with the dark triad characteristics, which include narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. While a dark empath might be able to read you, they might do so as a means to a goal. For instance, they may study you and match your wants using cognitive empathy, then prey on your weaknesses to obtain things like resources, cash, or social relationships. Next steps. Science does not support the existence of empaths. However, you may identify with the word if you're a very sensitive person or believe you can readily pick up on other people's feelings. Although the definition of the term empath is still up for discussion, it may encompass a highly developed capacity for empathy and sensitivity. If being extremely sensitive or profoundly perceptive sometimes overwhelms you, you might want to get help from a mental health expert. In order to bring your abilities into balance so that they are supportive of you rather than damaging, Friedman says you may want to work toward being in healthier balance with those parts of yourself.